Well, the Battle of Longewala stands as a remarkable testament to strategic brilliance and indomitable courage. Taking place in the Thar Desert, the battle saw a small contingent of Indian soldiers led by Major Kuldeep Singh Chandpuri successfully defend the Longewala outpost against a vastly superior Pakistani force. Despite being heavily outnumbered and facing a formidable array of tanks and infantry, the Indian defenders utilized their limited resources, including air support, to inflict heavy losses on the enemy. The battle not only halted the enemy's advance, but also showcased the resilience and tactical acumen that would contribute to India's eventual victory in the war. With us is one of the brave hearts, Lieutenant Colonel Kulvinder Singh, to share his story. Lieutenant Colonel Singh, I appreciate you joining us, sir. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you very well.
All right, sir. So please, narrate for us, what are your memories of that fateful day? Describe to us what the scenario was. It's an auspicious day to be hearing from you, to be listening to you. It's 15th of August, and it's important to understand that some of these stories define what India is today.
Thank you so much for bringing me up on the air. And let me start with, first of all, congratulations all men and women of our nation, and as well as the armed forces, and for the Independence Day celebration. And I think we deserve the Independence Day celebration. Now, coming back to the story, somehow, this movie called Border almost misled the nation. And why? And I won't blame the director. He did a fantastic job. It was one of the best war movies. But, the aim is different. He is a movie maker. He had to see from his angle. But from the army angle, there certain things were missed out. There was a lot of controversy going on, and I've gone on YouTube, and people are trying to blame each other. There's no blame, and I was there, right there. And General Shah, who retired as the Deputy Chief of Indian Army, he was the adjutant of the regiment. Now, as we have been talking about the eastern side, Bangladesh creation, what happened was at that time, the Pakistan was so desperate because they could not accept the fact that they have lost a big chunk of their territory. So they wanted to grab equal amount of territory on the western side. So they had a grand plan because they thought desert is all vacant, all available, and if you send tanks in a very fast movement, and they can capture a big chunk of land from India. But they didn't know that on the other side, the Indian Army is watching and very well prepared. But we were a bit of surprised too, because we had the offensive plan. Rajasthan border was being covered by two divisions, 11 day in the Barmet sector and 12 day in the Jaisalmer sector. So 12 day was supposed to advance and go deep inside Pakistan territory, and there's a place called Rahim Yar Khan, which is an important communication hub. So we were supposed to capture it. So on the morning of 4th, 5th night, December 71, so we were all geared up to go towards this side. And first objective, Islamgarh was captured, and all the division was on the line, and there was one track, duckboard track, and everybody lined up on that. So the forward elements have already gone. And I was part of 185 Light Regiment, which is now called 1851 Light Regiment. So I was the commanding a Romeo battery, which is supposed to be a Papa Quebec Romeo, just like Alpha Bravo Charlie company. So my turn was coming to be the last. I was supposed to move toward this Islamgarh side at around 11 o'clock in the morning. But at around midnight, I got a call from my commanding officer, Kul, you have to get up now and go toward Longewala. I said, sir, Longewala, that's not my area. He said, no, you have to go. I said, I don't have maps. He said, don't worry, the infantry will give you maps. So we were already packed up, so within few minutes we took off and went toward Longewala. And then our movement was followed up by our bright adjutant and then Captain Zamiruddin Shah. So we reached Longewala around 2 o'clock or around that time, and somebody said infantry took off and there were 2 or 3 soldiers, and this is all nonsense. People are there, infantry are very well organized, and idea here is to appreciate people who did something, not that he did this and somebody go into the air and he's watching on the ground, and as it is when the aircraft come, everybody hide. So you can't see anything. So observation from anyone of that kind of observation, you cannot take it, accept as truth. So the fact was, I went there, the maps were given, infantry 23 Punjab was well organized. NCOs came and gave me the map, so we deployed. They also told me that this is the likely gun area, and which was just behind. There's a road going behind Longewala post, and I've been there now 3 times after the war. And so we deployed just close to the wall, and I could see the post because there is a temple there. So that's all I could see. And then two soldiers were sent with my OP officer, that's called observation post officer. Now somehow the guns were within range, but there were no artillery observation post officer on the post. So Captain Datta walked through the night, and the tanks were surrounding the post. There was noise going on, there was firing going on, and Captain Datta liked walking in the shadow. And he climbed up the post, and he was greeted by Chandpuri. They hugged each other, and Chandpuri gave the bunker next to him as his observation post place. So in the meantime, I being the senior-most officer there, and we had no idea because we had the instrument to deploy the guns to find out the grid system where we deploy. We had nothing. So it was all on imagination or just your judgment. So I saw the temple and I said, this is a distance. I didn't want to fire on my own troops.
Right,
so we
sir.
kept a safe distance and we deployed the gun. So we were ready about 5:30 or so, and then it was dark. In the meantime, the Pakistan army had walked into our area. They crossed the border at 2 o'clock in the morning on the 5th of December, 71. Now they stopped because they saw some barbed wire around the post and they thought it's a minefield. So they kept carrying out reconnaissance to make sure there are no mines and they are not blown up. So when they were sure there are no mines, they wanted an infantry assault. Now they knew there is no artillery, but they didn't know that we had come with a very great speed, and I did crash action deployment, and we were ready. So in the darkness, Air Force could not come. Hunters could not fly at night. So we were the only people who could fire. So I told Captain Datta that just fire in the direction of the enemy, keep distance safe. So he added about 3,000 yards more than what he could think about his post location, and we started bombarding them. So Pakistan army was totally surprised, because they didn't expect artillery fire. And as you know, we were carrying mortars, heavy mortars. Now the difference between heavy mortars and the field guns is, if there are sand dunes, the field regiment shell will fly over. But the mortar shell will come right on the top of the head from behind the sand dune. So that was very devastating, and we kept firing. We were carrying ammunition for about 2 days, which is first line ammunition. We fired within 3-4 hours. And after 3-4 hours, we ran out of ammunition, and Captain Datta and GP, I said, no, if we don't fire, then we'll be getting a bad name for the whole regiment of artillery. So we started firing smoke ammunition. And smoke ammunition, as all my colleagues will understand, this is fired only when our own troops are attacking. So Pakistan thought that Indian army is on the attack and they're going to assault us. So they try to disappear now. And then around 7:30 a.m., now we continued firing about 1.5 hours to 1 hour 45 minutes. Then Air Force came at 7:30 a.m.
Right, sir.
So when Air Force would come, artillery will stop because we don't want to hit our own aircraft. So they came and they also did amazing job.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.